What if you had to choose between making a lot of money or leaving an impact? Why choose when you can have both? That was something I learned this week, and I'm gonna share a couple of other things I learned in my trip to Boise, Idaho as part of Russell Brunson's Inner Circle and Category Kings. And this was one of my biggest takeaways of the week, and I wanna share it with you right now. Probably one of the best masterminds I've ever been to in my entire life, and I want to share with you a couple of takeaways. When I got to Idaho, I didn't know, maybe I only knew one or two people in that room when I walked in. And so, of course, all my networking skills, I have to connect with others, build these bonds and these friendships, and that happened over the couple-day period. When I got there, we were introduced to a gentleman who wrote a book called Play Bigger. He was one of the authors of Play Bigger. In this book, talks about how to be a category king, i.e. the example of us being called category kings when we walked into this group. How do you become a category king? He taught us about different categories in their businesses and why they become the category king, and how do you become that category king and why that's important. And as he took us through this journey, the aha came at the very end because he asked this question: what problem do you solve? And when you become clear on the problem you solve as a business, the category appears. So many of us in this room, we were reverse engineering it. We're going, I got to figure out what category I am so that I can be the king or queen of that category. And he said, no, your category will appear when you are clear on the problem you solve. And he used this on stage in this little phrase, and it really spoke true to me because I'm like, man, such a great clarity around the problem was solved. And he used this phrase. He said, I'm tired, but I'm not thirsty. What product or category is that, right? I'm tired, but I'm not thirsty. It's actually 5-hour energy because, see, I don't need a big drink because I'm not thirsty. I'm just tired, so I needed an energy shot. And that was the problem he could clearly solve. When he was clear that there were people that needed energy, they weren't thirsty and they didn't need a big drink. Thus, he created the energy shot. 5-hour energy became the category king because he solved that problem. That was just one example that was used. And so the clarity for me and the question that I asked my team is, what problem do we solve? Are we clear on the problem we solve? And so for you, as you're starting your business, I would ask you to really write down, what problem do I solve? If you have a business already and you're not sure, start to ask your customers, ask your clients, what problem do we solve for you? And when you start to see consistency around the problem and you can articulate that in a short sentence, you're clear on that answer. That was day one. And so my mind was already blown. I don't know about you, but when I go to events like this, I try so hard to listen and take all of it in, but then I'm such a high driver that I want to get back and put it into action right away. So over the next couple of days, we got to hear from each other, people in the group, right? We got to get on stage. When it was my turn, I got on stage, I had 45 minutes. I spent 25 minutes sharing with the group what things I'm really good at and trying to add value. And then the next 15 minutes was for me to ask for what I needed help with. Now that activity in itself was truly eye-opening because some people got on stage and spent the whole 45 minutes talking about what they're really strong at and what they do well, and they left like 30 seconds for their ask. And I think because I'm experienced in this, the wisdom that I had is, look, I paid to be in this room. I don't need to spend the time to prove to myself why I belong in that room by sharing all the things I'm good at. I want the collective of this group to tell me where I'm stuck, how I can get better. And the truth of the matter was, there was some tremendous ideas shared in that room. And for me, I got total clarity. And that clarity gave me one thing, and that's confidence. Confidence now because I now know the path that I need to build on and how to get there. And that came through that mastermind group. And the third point for me that I want to share with you is be in the room where things happen. It was clear to me in sitting in that room that this is the room where things happen. And that proximity of being around these people, that I'm going to get some knowledge like the things I just shared that can help catapult my business. So it caused me to think, where around you are the rooms where things happen, right? So we're sitting in my office right now. We're actually in our training center. And this is one of those rooms where things happen, right? We do events on a regular basis. And I encourage people who are entrepreneurs to come to these events, whether virtual or live, because this is a room where things happen. And so the goal, the thing I took away is like, man, when is the next event? Where is the next thing where people like this are going to gather together? That proximity for me, I could get in the room where things happen. And what I realize is, leaving that group, the one thing I can't take with me is that room. That room now doesn't exist at this moment. The knowledge I took, the notes I took, the connections with those people that I have on social media and so forth, I have that now. But what I don't have is that room where things happen. So many people think, well, I don't need to be there. I can just look at my notes, or I can watch something virtual, or I can plug into a book. And those things are helpful, but it's still not the room where things happen. And so my advice to you is right now, look, plug into a network, plug into an event, plug into a coach or mentor, and look for the next time they're gathering together. Because I promise you, when you get into that room, your learning curve goes straight up because you're now a collective group of knowledge coming together that's going to help you. And especially if they put an environment together where you can share and ask for help. I thought that was one of the most valuable things. Wherever everyone was going for dinner, I wanted to be in that room. And that's a skill that I've learned, I teach, and I continue to apply, because when I get in the room where things happen, I learn things like how to become a category king. I learn how to have clarity in my marketing plan and my value ladder so that I create confidence. And so those two things wouldn't have happened if I didn't get in the room where things happen. So my challenge to you right now, look for that place. Look for where the next room is. We hold a national event every year for entrepreneurs called Connect. We'll put the information in here if you want to come. If you're looking for a room to make things happen and you're not sure where to go, come hang with us. As you do this, I promise you're going to gain mindset, you're going to improve your mindset, you're going to improve your skill set, and you're going to grow your network. And when you combine those three things, your business is destined for success.